Supreme day to you, tribe. It's your girl Ocean Messenger here with another message from the waves. I hope that you guys pulled through this weekend. Honestly, it was a little top heavy, as we released certain people from our past, very toxic people from our past. The more that they want to try to hold on to our energy as it expeditiously fades away at this time. And so it's really important right now for Divine Tribe to continue to transmute the energies being sent your way from those from your past, whether they be family, whether they be friends, frenemies, associates, co-workers, and so on, you guys. It's very important to, like the painting, you see the child dancing in the puddles, splashing in the puddles, it's raining. And just really transmuting that downpour of rain, which would be emotions at this time, and allowing that water source to be fulfillment and not to drown out a shell. I call in my archangels at this time, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Uriel, Metatron, and all other archangels at this time to protect me from speech problems and from communication errors at this time. As I know, a lot of people from my past, every time I come on here, they really just want me to sound like I'm stupid. And I know that. And that's just fine with me. A lot of people from my past don't understand how I communicate in the first place. When you hear me say it, it's because I'm getting a download or upload and I'm trying to process that. And at the time, right now, I'm just working on the as much as I can. But in the meantime, until I do get a speech coach and am able to smooth out my speech, I call in my archangels, I call in the Most High, I call in my ancestors to surround me and put their hands on my shoulders as I speak to you guys today. So back to what I was saying, a lot of you guys might have felt a little heavy this weekend and may have even had to shed some tears, and that's okay to release those emotions out. At the end of the day, a lot of people from our past really put us through it, and they had a lot of plots and plans and tactics. To name a few would be hiding our identity. A lot of us don't know where we truly come from. A lot of us have been adopted or sold off into families that abused us and have hidden our identity on purpose so we wouldn't know who we are, where we came from, and what was entailed for our lives, period. We've had people proclaim that we're crazy, that have gaslit us and made us furious just so that they could record us or take a video of us so that they could show the next person, see, I told you, this is how they act out, this is how they carry themselves. A lot of people have caused us PTSD. A lot of us have had to be put in institutions from having mental breakdowns, not knowing what was going on with us, or being put into certain programs. A lot of us have been under the MK Ultra program our whole lives. A lot of us have had to feel paranoid, have had to look over our shoulders. A lot of people have projected self-doubt on us because they doubted us. They wanted us to doubt ourselves. There's been enormous amount of reoccurrences of narcs or narcissists sent into our lives. And a lot of those narcissists, they learn the same plots, plans, and tactics from the people closest to us. Most of my exes, they were sent in handlers to be a distraction to my life, to take me off course in my life. And a lot of those handlers were very well taught, especially from my mother figure, my adoptive mother figure. They were very well taught how to put me down, how to treat me in such ways, how to abuse me in all forms. A lot of you guys have had to go through that as well, having mothers and fathers vengefully send people into your life to disrupt it and to make it chaotic. And a lot of you guys have come out of that, and congratulations for that. Keep moving forward. A lot of y'all have had to undergo dream magic, having nightmares, having projections in the dream state being forced upon you. A lot of y'all have been molested and raped in your dream state as well. Then you have the gang stalking that has been sent our way plenty of times. There's the isolation tactics, the eviction spells, the defamation of character and slander, There's the CPS calls, the brainwashing of your children. There's also the chaos spells of your children. For some of you guys out there, trying to make you look like you're a bad parent at this time. And all of these plots, tactics, and plots that they had going on. At the end of the day, what was it for? For greed. Simply put, for greed, for monetary. A lot of prideful, lustful, egotistical people that have been placed in our lives. And so a lot of us are still continuing to cleanse out all of that and just really take time to meditate on it and to transmute it. And it's very important to transmute all those energies at this time to get that final cleansing out as they're going through their karma and as we receive our dharma. Like I said, a lot of these fools out here, they are literally holding on to the doorknob of the door that has been detached from the frame of our lives. And since they can't get to us physically, they would love to continue to get to us mentally. And so for a lot of you guys this past weekend that are going through your spiritual journey, like I said, it was very heavy. And I hope that you guys took time to really get out there into the sun and to ground yourselves, to be around nature, around the birds, around trees, around plants and flowers, around animals, around sand, around ocean water, lake water, any kind of forms of water, and to allow the transmutancy of that to overflow what is trying to pull you down emotionally at this time. You know, every time the Most High has me go on a walk, I always stumble into something and I always run into a golden nugget that is sent my way. And I happen to be passing a neighborhood library, an outside one, where you open up the little door and there's a bunch of donated books, and then when you're done reading those, you put those back in and you swap it out for another book. Well, I happened to look in there and I found a book from my childhood, and it has the initial J on it, which would be my middle name. And this is the Amazing Grace book. And I remember reading this book over and over and over. And at the time when I was reading it, I, matter of fact, looked just like this little girl with the 2 missing teeth. And so it really put a smile on my face. I really needed it. Sitting there with her grandmother, her dolly. And I just wanted to read it real quick if you guys have a little bit of time, because it does relate to a lot of us. A lot of us, it doesn't matter how old we are. I'm about to be hitting my 40s here, but on the inside, I still carry a lot of the characteristics of my childhood, and this just really brought me back. And so I'm just going to read it real quick, and if it resonates, then take it, and if it doesn't, then let it fly and move on to the next reel. So Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anisi the spider. I might be said that wrong. It might be Ansi. I'm not sure. Ansi spiders, yeah. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha, I hope I said that right, sitting by the shining big seawater. Oh, I love that, so pretty. And Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales when there was no one else around. Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter, that's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them the words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." That just shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry, but before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." This is exactly how I feel right now with my ancestors, you guys. Even though, they're not here physically, they're always around me. And this is exactly how they cater to me. And I really appreciate them so much. And I love them so much. And I just want to take time to just really just say that and give gratitude. On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to the Grand Theater sorry guys. A few tears. The sign outside read, "Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet in sparkling lights." A lot of you guys are going to be in sparkling lights here soon. "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey, but first I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning new Juliet." On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would play Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. I love that. The play was a big success and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." "You probably could," said Ma. "Yes," said Nana. "If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants." And that is the end of that book, you guys. And that is a lot of our stories, Divine Tribe. We are definitely all amazing, and we have definitely all been given a lot of grace, and we hold a lot of grace, and we've had a lot of grace for others. And so that's why it's kind of hard to really understand some of these energies that have come against us, when at the end of the day, all we had was genuine true love for them. And at the end of the day, all they did was hate on us and despise us, and really just try to completely put our life in shambles. And I just wanted to